Okay, you're not honoring George Floyd's memory or doing anything good for America or fighting police brutality by stealing a TV. You're just a piece of shit. And let me just make this clear right at the very top. If you're a rioter, if you're a looter, you're human scum. You're doing nothing positive for society. What you're acting on is not quote unquote justified anger. You're a piece of crap. You're a piece of crap. And you should be arrested. You should be prosecuted. Business owners should defend their businesses. This is sheer unbelievable garbage. And the failure of government to perform its single function, which is to protect the law abiding, that failure of government is catastrophic. I'm talking from local governments to state governments to the federal government. The lack of ability of the government to do the one thing it is supposed to do, right? This government that's supposed to provide you everything that you could possibly need, provide you privileges from the top. Instead, it can't even protect you in your own cities. The government is designed to protect life and liberty. In the case of George Floyd, they did neither. And then they allowed rioters to run roughshod throughout the country. We had most every major American city last night under curfew. LA County, which is 10 million people, went into curfew yesterday at 6 o'clock p.m. And so there are three things that we need to talk about today. One is the legitimate cause of fighting police brutality. The second is the illegitimate argument that America is endemically racist, systematically racist, racist at every level, and that America must apologize for its very being, that America must be remade from bottom to top and top to bottom. And then there is the third argument that some are making, which is that people who riot and loot are somehow an outgrowth of justified anger, that somehow going and smashing a store window makes you some sort of hero in this society. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. If you are a rioter, if you're a looter, you ought to be captured, you ought to be arrested, you ought to be prosecuted. This is not the behavior of a civilized country. It is not. And don't tell me that the behavior of the police officer in George Floyd's situation was uncivilized. I agree. We all agree. We're all on the same page. That guy's in jail. He's going to remain in jail. He should be in jail. No one disagrees on this. But using this as an excuse to destroy the Lincoln Memorial, to go and tag the World War II Memorial, to beat business owners outside their business, and to do it on the basis of race, okay, you're not honoring George Floyd's memory or doing anything good for America or fighting police brutality by stealing a TV. You're just a piece of shit. Okay, if you are stealing a TV, you are a bad on the back of the killing of an innocent black man. You're a bad person, red, white, or green. The attempt to polarize America around the question of whether rioting and looting is a justified uprising. I'm seeing language of uprising. That's not an uprising. That's not an uprising. What are you rising up against? Target? Is Target the great oppressor? And yes, I'm angry because you've shut millions of Americans in their homes. Tens of millions of Americans you have shut in their homes. Law-abiding Americans. And you're burning down businesses. And you're breaking store windows. And you're hurting people who are disproportionately minority, by the way. You're really hitting shops in most of these cities that are owned by black people, owned by Hispanic people, owned by Asian people. And somehow this is being treated by celebrities as justified. If you're defending this behavior, you are part of the problem. And I think there are some Democrats today, thank God, who are coming out and not defending this. I think that there are a lot of black leaders who are coming out today and not defending this, nor should they defend this, because no leader of any race should defend any of this, because this isn't a black-white issue. This is not a race issue. Looting is not a race issue, and police brutality should not be a race issue. It's just a human decency issue. Right? These are all human decency issues. And it breaks my heart for my country that the human decency that we should all be united around seems to have been thrown out the window completely, to the point where people are defending rioters and looters because America is bad. But if you woke up not angry this morning, then it's because you haven't been watching the news. And it is justified anger to ask why in the hell, living in the freest, most prosperous country in the history of mankind, we had 50 million citizens last night who were confined to quarters, not on the basis of a virus for their own protection, but on the basis of people running roughshod through the streets and throwing Molotov cocktails at cop cars. Nuttiness.